Hey guys, it's Tanya Morgan here for Behind the Gloves. Today I'm here at BXR with Ramon Perez. How you doing, Ramon?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Cool. So just for the people that may just be discovering you for the first time, let's take it way, way, way back. Ooh. Let's start at the beginning.
Way back.
Talk me through just basically how you got into boxing, how you ended up in the UK. I know you're not from here, right? So just talk me through what you're doing here.
Okay. So basically my story starts off in a place called New Jersey. That's where I was born. Basically my mother wanted to get me out of trouble. You know, I had two brothers as well. I'm the baby. And basically we ended up moving to DC. That's where I pretty much got introduced to boxing in the DC, Virginia area. For those that don't know, they're very close to each other. So basically I started boxing at a young age in terms of like learning the craft. My father was a boxer from Cuba, Camagüey, Cuba. And my mother, she was born in Panama. If you know Panama, you know Roberto Duran. Yep. So basically I got all that going on. But yeah, I started at a young age boxing, and then it went from boxing actually to other sports. In America, they're big on wrestling, baseball. So I would kind of juggle these sports, and eventually I wanted to discipline myself just to boxing. So then I started the amateurs. With that said, my amateur record 16-1 in the UK. So I'm the Haringey champion, the gold medalist in 2014, also the ABA regional champion. So that's pretty much my accolades, to be fair. I've been on a long up and down journey my whole life. But with that said, I'm kind of debuting. I am debuting on the 6th of October in York Hall, Bethnal Green.
Nice. And how are you feeling about that fight?
To be honest, I feel it's something that I have to do. You know, when you get to a point in your career where you don't have much time, I spent most of my youth trying to find my way, you know, in life, because I didn't have, you know, a mother in my life from when I was about 18 years old. Same with my father. He left my mother, my mother left my father, let's get that right, when I was about 9 years old. So I spent most of my life kind of learning my balance, you know, and where I want to be in life. But then eventually, you know, at the age of 30, to be fair, at 28, I decided, you know what, I gotta turn pro. I can't waste any more time. Now I'm 30 years old, and basically that's where I'm at now.
So talk to me a little bit about your childhood. What was it like? And yeah, you got any stories you want to share?
Where do I begin?
I know you're a storyteller.
Oh.
For those that don't know, we work together here at BXR, so I do already know Ramon, and I know this guy got some stories for me.
Definitely. A good story so you get an understanding of how we grew up. You know, my mother, she was a very hard-working woman, 3 jobs. I mean, she'd come home tired, so if you know the discipline, she was big on it. She didn't have no patience. So I'll tell you a little story. Every Saturday, my mom would come home and she'd basically cook breakfast for us. And after we ate breakfast, she'd expect us to clean up. All right? My mom is only gonna tell you one time. She's not, just one time, that's it. So we're sitting there watching Thundercats at the time in the TV, and you hear my mom, she say, Emilio, Victor, and Emiliano. And my mother calls me Emilio. My name's Ramon, but that's my family name. And we kind of ignored it. Mom, we're gonna watch Thundercats. So then about 5 minutes later, I looked at the corner of my eye, and I see my mother coming around with one of those little wiffle ball bats, you know, the little white joints. Yeah. I'm looking at Victor, and I'm like, ooh, she gonna go for you, because Victor was the big brother, so he had to kind of lead by example. All of a sudden, I seen that bat come across, and he had a nice little high top fade. That thing went whap, his hair parted right down the middle. And that was it. So it's a little story. You know, we have, you know, I had a lot of dysfunction in my family, to be honest. But we always kind of persevered. We had an amazing mother that was very disciplined, loving, warm. And if it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't be here today, hands down.
Yeah. And I guess it's in your blood. You said your dad boxed, right?
Yeah. So my dad, he's had so many fights. Myth is that he had a 50-1 record, and he retired when he lost. His nickname was Agua Fria. If you know what that is, obviously my Spanish people out there, it means cold water. Because when he'd hit you with a shot, it's like cold water running through your back. So I was raised very militant from my father. The short period I had with him, 4 o'clock in the morning up. If you don't wake up, cold water, the whole 9. So that was my father. My father was a hard-working man, very disciplined. He didn't have a female bone in his body. So he was very, you know, straight to the point. There's no messing about. Obviously, I know I can't cuss, so there's a lot of things where he would be very direct, and if you didn't do it, balista. That's a whooping.
So you obviously grew up with all that kind of discipline, but did you still get into trouble anyway? Was you the kind of kid that, even though you had that discipline, trouble came your way anyway?
Yeah, definitely. Trouble definitely came my way, but I was fortunate enough to be the baby. So I seen my brothers make a lot of mistakes, but I did like to fight naturally. But with me, a big hero of mine is Bruce Lee. So for me, I didn't feel like the bully, like I'm gonna pick this type of fight. I would never avoid a fight, but I definitely wouldn't pick one. In terms of growing up and getting in trouble and this and that, I had my fair shake, just like probably most of you viewers out there. Nothing too special, but I learned at a young age that if I want to elevate myself, I got to kind of elevate the way that I think, my personality, my confidence. I was a very insecure kid, so a lot of self-reflection went into my youth, understanding my strengths, my weaknesses, things like that.
When did you realize you could fight? When did you just think, I can actually fight with these hands I got?
Oh, you ready for this one?
Yeah, we're ready.
That's a story. So I ain't gonna say no names out there, but you know who you are. There's the gentleman that used to bully me since I was a kid, massively. I mean, one time I was taking a pee, and he turned me around on the urinal, and you get the picture. And for a while, I was the type of kid where, say if I'd fight, like I couldn't physically throw a punch when I was a kid. I would be so nervous, where the dudes would just rock me, boom, boom, and I'd take it all, and I wouldn't fight back. One day I got to a point where you have to hit that brick wall. And I was like, either I'm gonna keep myself at this low level, or I'm gonna show him what's really good. Because I always knew how to fight. I just never felt the urge to defend myself, if that makes any sense. One day, same situation happened. I seen homeboy, hit him up with a quick pop, 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 left hook, rolled under, 3 more, 1 for good measure, put him down, and then I felt this sense of like, I'm the man. You know what I mean? Just because you put your hands on me doesn't mean I can't defend myself. And that kind of changed a lot of the ways that I looked at myself in terms of my confidence. I don't feel the need to go out and hurt anyone, but I felt that I needed to learn how to defend myself. Yeah.
So I've got 2 questions for you. Where would you be without boxing, and where are you trying to be with boxing now?
Okay. So obviously it gets a bit personal. Most of my life I felt inadequate, whether it was women, whether it was my own confidence. Suffered from, I would say, depression in a certain sense, where I couldn't sleep and things like that. And basically, if it wasn't for boxing, because boxing, people don't realize, they just see the blood and the 2 people just hitting each other. They don't see the preparation, the discipline. They don't see the love after. There's so many times where you be fighting somebody, next thing you know, you go out for a drink after. They don't see that. They just see the warfare. But I'd say with boxing, it gave me a sense of oneness with myself, because a lot of times people don't realize when you're in pain and you're tired and you don't want to wake up, you don't want to work, you're in the ring, neck pain, the list will go on and on. You don't do it for yourself. You do it for others. You do it for your kids, your family, your mom, whether it's getting out of the street. People don't see that, the mindset behind the fighter. Obviously, don't get me wrong, you will have some people that have been knocked on the head a few times and they don't, they have a screw loose or 2. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that genuinely care, and boxing is an outlet that can definitely direct your focus. If you have a lot of pent-up anxiety and stress, letting it out, it definitely allows it not to brew. Because with me, I was the type of kid, you can ask my mom, I'd get frustrated and I'd be, and I'd go punch the holes in the wall when I was a kid. No lie. And my mom would turn around and say, you're gonna fix that wall. But that's how I let the aggression out. So boxing for me is a no-brainer. If it wasn't for boxing, wrestling, my uncle, my mother, my brothers, my wife, my son, all those things combined, I wouldn't be who I am today. The person you're talking to today is completely different when I was 16, 17, running around the streets, doing a lot of things my mom don't even know. And, boxing definitely saved my life, 100%.
Nice. And what's your goal with it? What are you trying to make happen? Are there goals that you have set yourself that you think, I'm not going to be happy until I make that happen for myself?
That hits home. So to keep a long story short, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna be a Mike Tyson. I'm not going to be a Muhammad Ali, a Joe Frazier. I'm not going to be this. I would love to, don't get me wrong. But with the time window I have, I'm a smart man. I work a full-time job at BXR as head of sales. I have a wonderful opportunity. Obviously, I'm right here behind the gloves. I'm very blessed. I'm winning already. Say no more. But the plan B and C for me, because A was always the career. Plan A was always my career, being able to provide for my family, myself, don't have to ask for any favors. With that said, my goal with boxing is to pretty much, oh, you see that bank over there? I'm gonna crack that bank. I'm gonna take as much money as I can, and I'm gonna invest it into some property, some land. That's the goal. If I can get like a Commonwealth title, a world title, if that is my destiny with all the hard work that I put in, I'm more than happy to grab it with both hands. But what I can see with my own being is hopefully being undefeated, get as much money as possible, and invest it. Yeah, that's me being 100% honest.
Nice. So it's really refreshing to talk to someone that's just so real about everything. Like you just being real. So hopefully the people at home are relating to some of the things that you've said. Definitely someone that has battles throughout their life, and you've made a decision to find a way to kind of have your release, let things out. Do you think that you see yourself doing anything outside of boxing, working with other people?
100%. So my vision was obviously because we daydream, right? Sometimes I'm walking, no lie, I'm listening, and you guys will relate. Everyone will relate. I'm walking down the road and I'm picturing me walking to the ring. I'm picturing the fans. I'm picturing the lights. I'm picturing everything. My whole objective when I first started being an athlete was to be an iconic figure so that way I can have an impact on the world. Pretty much devote myself to charity, working with the kids, pretty much giving back. That was my dream, my vision. Ultimately, I see myself getting as far as I can professionally as possible, and then from there, investing back into the communities, whether it's BALHAM, BXR, the list will go on and on, Hurlem and Chelsea, where I've boxed at. But more importantly, I want to train someone. I want to train a world champion as an older man, not me now. Yeah. So my goal is to see how far I can go and eventually, not necessarily open my own facility, but pour my knowledge onto other people. Because I'm not just skilled in boxing. I've done karate, I've done taekwondo, I've done wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and a lot of tactics. People don't realize at the end of the day in boxing, it's a fight. And there's other mechanics you can use with your body, biomechanics, that can actually aid you in boxing. Whether it's wrestling, where we're very low to the ground, utilizing that level, just things like that. But to answer your question, it's to give back. That's the goal.
So talk to me a bit about you and Bruce Lee. Woo! So that's your inspiration, right? One of your inspirations anyway. Yes. How did that come about? What do you like about him? And how has that affected your style as a fighter? Okay,
so my style is no way as way. With Bruce Lee, his main philosophy was taking many different styles of combat and integrating the best practices into a style. So say, for example, boxing, people don't realize there's many, many different styles in boxing, let alone, obviously the word is boxing, but within boxing, you got Roy Jones, Pernell Whitaker, Mike Tyson. There's styles within itself. So with me, I take my natural essence, the way that I express myself, and utilize all those styles that suit my natural frequency, my natural way of expressing myself. But let's go back to Bruce Lee. This isn't about me anymore. This is about Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was the guy that was that quiet voice in my ear when I was a kid that was always like, train hard. When you do something, do it with everything you got. Put your passion into it. Never wear a mask. There's no such thing as a superstar. We all are. We all have our hidden potentials. Whether it's the cameraman in the back trying to do the best that he's trying to do, you interviewing me, we all have that inner star in us. But we can't look at it as it's for specific people. That's what I learned with Bruce Lee. It's about expressing yourself, your true being, honestly. And that translates into fighting. A lot of times you'll hear your coach telling you this person telling you, it's about being able to home in all that knowledge and express yourself honestly. Now, with Bruce Lee, when I was a kid, I was very skinny. I'm skinny now, to be honest. But I was like this. They used to call me flaco. That's a Spanish name for skinny. They used to tell me jokes all the time. You so skinny you could hula hoop through a Cheerio. You know, loads of things. You know what I mean? I'd fire back. You so fat you need 3 packs of butter to get through the door. You know what I mean? So I'd give it back to him. But Bruce Lee made me realize that it's not about how big you are or anything like that. It's about your devotion to the discipline. And that's what I really pull from Bruce Lee.
And in terms of your fighting style, right, you're a southpaw. Is that right?
Actually, ironically, I'm both.
Yeah.
And I can't give out all my secrets. Southpaw, I have a certain mindset behind it, which boxers and fighters will understand. Southpaw, I have a certain mindset behind it, a way that I express myself. And then orthodox, I express myself differently. So it's almost like 2 coins, 2 sides to the coin.
So when someone gets into the ring with you, they don't know what they're going to get.
That's the plan. The plan is to make sure that I confuse them like scrambled eggs and then pick them apart.
So talk to me a little bit about your fight that you have coming up. How can people find out a little bit more about it and get behind you if they want to come down and show support? I know I'm going to be there.
Perfect. So it's in Bethnal Green, York Hall, October 6th. At the stage that I'm at today, because I'm doing my debut there, you really don't, this is the beginning. You don't know your opponent most of the time. You're going to weigh in, you're going to see him. I leave all the strategy and everything to my coach, but the main thing is if you want to come by, support me, stop by BXR, ask for Ramon, I shake your hand, I meet you in person, we have a conversation. Tickets are 35 pounds. I'd love to have the support. More pressure on me, the more I'm going to move, groove, and knock out this fool. That's it.
Nice. Well, guys, if you want to get behind a real boxer that's talking from the heart, telling you his story, then come down to BXR and get behind him. Find him. Where can they find you on social media?
Elite_RGP. You'll see a dude with a hat with a beach around him. It's pretty chilled. Can I give out a shout out?
Yeah, yes, you can.
So I'd like to give a shout out to my son. He's 5 years old, Noah. My wife, Lucy. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Everyone that supported me, honestly, from the bottom of your heart. My heart, not your heart. Well, we can do both. Win, lose, or draw, I'm giving it everything I got, and I'm truly grateful and humbled. Thank you.
We're looking forward to watching that fight and you winning and going on to do all the things that you set out to do.
That's the goal, baby.
Yes, champ. Let's get it. All right. Thanks for watching Behind the Gloves, guys.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else.